How you all doing? Another Facebook Live on Friday night where I'm going to be answering tons of muscle building questions, fat loss questions. I got a whole bunch that I received actually when I asked my newsletter to provide me with some questions. So it's going to be a muscle building and fat loss question and answer night tonight. And I'm going to be waiting a few minutes over here till we build up a nice audience of people. I want to make sure everybody finds me. I'm going to find myself too via my laptop. Make sure that I can see this. Hello, Craig, again, yes. Good to see you, man. Hi there. Hamza. How you doing? And I found myself. This is cool. Awesome. Let's see. Okay. Hey, Kendra. It's okay because you're here now, and you can always take a look at the replay of the other live because I already posted it. So it's really good. Everybody asked some awesome questions, and you'll go ahead and learn a lot from that one. So awesome. Good to see you, Kendra. I was wondering how you were doing. How's your program going? Let me ask you that. Let's see. Like I said, I'll be waiting a few minutes to build up the audience, and then I'll start with the question and answer. Alexander. Always a student. So am I, Kendra. I'm still learning. We all students. Christian. Thanks. The reason for that, Christian, is because some people in my some of my coaching clients during my coaching group, they started saying that they suspect that I was Superman, so I went ahead and put on the shirt. Hi, Margarita. Hi, Riyadh. Sorry if I mispronounce any names. Program is good, Kendra says. Intense. Awesome. This is good stuff. It's happening, Alejandro. It's happening. Yep, it is muscle gain, Kendra. You're gaining muscle as we speak. This is absolutely great. Super awesome to hear. Doing good, Saif. Hi, Hack. Doing awesome. Thank you. Go ahead and give this a couple more minutes and then I'll get started because we have a lot of muscle building and fat loss questions to cover. I asked my newsletter for some feedback and I got like hundreds of questions. So what I did is that I went through all of them and basically I kind of like created groups. Riyadh, go ahead and ask your question. I'll go ahead and see. Thanks, Scott. You're too kind. Go ahead and ask your question, Riyadh, and I'll go ahead and see if I can answer it here, okay? How you all doing? Hi, Hassan. Good. Excellent. Hussein says he wants some abs. No problem. I'll be talking about all this stuff today, actually, because all my questions, all my questions talk about how to build muscle and lose fat tonight. So we'll go ahead and I think we'll get started in the next minute over here. Alejandro's asking which best protein to gain. Yeah, I'll cover that too. Yeah, Saif, it's actually the clock behind me. It's actually 9 o'clock. It's because Facebook Live shows it inverted. I think if I go like this. Sorry. Stuff. I thought I would fix the image. No, it's 9 o'clock. I'm in Florida, actually, USA. So yeah. Let's see. Okay, let's go ahead and get started over here. Thank you all for coming. I look forward to answering a whole bunch of questions, and hopefully I'll have time to go ahead and answer a few more. But like I said, I took all the questions that I was sent, which were hundreds, and I went through them and I created a few groups of questions. So I'll start answering here. The first thing, let's go ahead and talk about a really cool technique that somebody asked me about. Actually, like 5 people asked me about this stuff, and basically the question is, what do I think about blood flow restriction training? And the answer is, and I'll start by saying this, I've never used it myself, okay? And I've read a whole bunch about it, but it was not up until I got these questions from various people that I decided to do some research on it. I still haven't tried it. In fact, I may not try it in a few weeks over here because I have my own program going, but I did wanted to research it more thoroughly, and I wanted to make sure that first and foremost it works, and I wanted to make sure second that it is the type of stuff that is safe, because I didn't know how safe it was to go ahead and do this type of training. So I did my research, and I actually found a great article that I'll be sharing with you guys, and the article is from Dr. Jacob Wilson, who did, I think he did a fantastic job at summarizing all of the data that I found and putting it in a one good, concise article. So I'll be sharing this article with you guys. But anyways, I'll define blood flow restriction, and I'll just basically read from the article. I'll give you Dr. Jacob's definition, which basically the blood flow restriction, it involves wrapping a device, such as a knee wrap, for example, around the top portion of a limb to restrict blood flow out of the working muscle. During a properly performed session, blood is able to enter the muscle via the arterial flow. However, the veins are restricted, so that blood is partially prevented from leaving the working muscle. Well, why on earth would you want to go ahead and do that kind of stuff? Well, here's the answer. This arrangement allows for a swelling effect of the muscle, which is the first mechanism of muscle growth. Blood flow restriction also causes a buildup of metabolites such as lactic acid that have been shown to directly stimulate muscle growth. And the direct fatigue caused to the muscle forces the nervous system to recruit the largest fast-twitch muscle fibers, which have the greatest capacity to grow. So there you have it. This is a very advanced technique, okay? So if you guys are starting out, my advice will be to kind of like stay away from the blood flow restriction, all right? Once you have like a couple of years, 3 years of solid training under your belt, I will start trying stuff like this. I will give it a shot myself just to see how well it does. Kendra says, blood flow restriction does work and it is safe if done properly. The method is good for those who are recovering. Kendra, you're totally right. Because in my research, what I was looking for was the safety of this protocol. And the key thing is to do the wrapping correctly. So this article that I'm going to share talks about the wrapping techniques and all that. And I think that's the ticket. The ticket is to do the wrapping correctly and to use it in deloading phases during periodization. And I always talk about how to periodize programs and things like that. So, you know, great technique from everything I've read. Again, I can't speak from experience. Hi, Vince. Vinny. Vinny, how are you, buddy? I can speak from experience when it comes to the blood flow training, okay? The blood flow restriction training. But everything I've read seems to indicate good things about it. And in fact, some of the studies were done in my university, University of South Florida. So, looks like a very safe protocol and something really cool for more advanced lifters who want to get to the next stage of hypertrophy. I'm guessing that for me this will do pretty well because it's something that my body's not used to, so this could go ahead and take me to the next level. So I will try it out. Kendra says, they use it a lot in my physical therapy office and the patients are recovering faster. Yeah, I think it's because of the extra blood that comes after, you know? So yeah, everything I've read is really, really positive. So I really want to thank everybody that emailed me and asked me about this kind of stuff because, like I said, I read about it before. But you know what? You get to the point after you've done this for like 30 years, like I have, that it's like I look at new protocols and it's like, okay, unless I read like some really good reputable sources talking about it, I don't even kind of like pay attention to it. So this time, you know, because people were asking, I said, let me go ahead and do some thorough research on this. And I found some really good sources of people that are talking about it. So I'm going to go ahead and share the link right here because I really recommend that you read this article from Dr. Jacob Wilson. And again, big thanks to Dr. Wilson for the awesome job. This is a great article. It really is. Kendra, thank you so much for your comments too. I really appreciate the real world feedback over here also. Great article on blood flow restriction training. And again, I will say, only use if you have trained hard for at least 2 years. There you go. Bam. There's a link. It's really, really good stuff. So that's the blood flow restriction training right there. It looks like it's a great, safe protocol for advanced lifters to go ahead and take it to the next level. So you see Kendra, I'm still a student. I'm still learning. Okay, let's see what else I have here. Questions. Let's see. Okay, people are asking me. Many of you ask me this. Is it possible to gain muscle over 40, over 50, over 60, over 70? The answer is absolutely. Okay? Absolutely, you can go ahead and gain muscle at all those ages. In fact, most of my coaching clients, they're between 45 to 70. Okay? And in fact, the biggest proof is one of my clients, he's like 70 actually, and his problem is that he gains so much muscle that, we wanted to just keep him in the same level and just cut him down, but we were having a very hard time because this guy is awesome. He's just like amazing. He's been training all his life and his body just responds well to weights and to the proper diet and everything. And he just blows up in muscle tissue. So that's a 70-year-old right there. I think we need to stop and think and be like, okay, age is not like it was before, okay? Where we think, oh my God, we're 40, so, we're just going to go down the drain and whatever else, Okay, I'm getting all the questions, so I'm keeping them in my head. No problem, people. That's cool. I got it, John. Looking to lean out for Mexico in 4 weeks. That's great. Awesome. I'll talk about that too. I have a question just like that. So, at any rate, like I was saying, the key thing is that if you take care of yourself, if you do the proper training, if you do the proper dieting, okay, you're going to get incredible results, right? The next step is to always go ahead and check your blood work, make sure that the thyroid levels are working great, that the testosterone levels are where they need to be, that the estrogen levels are where they need to be. And as long as those hormones all remain balanced throughout your life, with the proper training, the proper nutrition, the proper supplementation, and rest, you're going to be able to achieve incredible results, okay? So, again, these days, we have the technology and the know-how of how to do these things. Back in the day, we didn't. And again, if you don't take care of yourself, you're going to age quicker. You will age quicker. It's just the way it is. If you're constantly eating garbage, if you're not drinking your water, remember, most of your body is water, okay? Over 66% of your body is water. So I highly recommend that you drink your water and that you go ahead and eat correctly. And like Kendra says, if you go ahead and train with weights and you eat correctly, your testosterone levels stay up. In cases that it doesn't, well, there are great medical doctors that can go ahead and correct your levels. Okay, assuming that how you call it? I lost my train of thought because I tried to go ahead and multitask because I'm trying to read and I'm trying to talk. I'm so sorry. Let me see if I go ahead and catch my thought again. Testosterone levels. Yes, there are medical doctors that know what they're doing. They can go ahead and correct your levels, assuming that you have tried every single natural supplement out there and it hasn't worked. Then, there are doctors out there that can go ahead and do this for you. But the key thing is that, it says if you're over 30, your body's more difficult to get fit. Only if your hormones are going down, It's really a hormonal issue. I mean, if your hormones are going down the toilet because you have not eaten correctly for many years and things like that, and the first thing to do is to get into a proper diet and training program. That typically goes ahead and fixes the problem immediately. Okay. Now, if for whatever reason your hormonal levels are still off, then there are corrective methods for taking care of that. Okay, so the key thing here with the aging thing, it all has to do with you taking care of yourself. Typically, if you take care of yourself, you'll be good to go. I mean, like I said, I have most of my clients are between 45 to 70. The majority are, 50 and up, and they're making incredible progress. Incredible progress. Maca is a good supplement that naturally balances out hormones in both males and females. The caveat is that it has some... I don't see the rest of your text, Kendra, for some reason. That it has some great side effects for couples, being polite in language. No issue with those kind of side effects. That's so good. Awesome. So Maca, yeah, there you go. So I mean, again, just to summarize, if you're over 40, who cares? Put your mindset straight over here. Know that if you're training correctly and you're dieting correctly, that should go ahead and fix all your hormonal problems. Okay, and you'll start making incredible progress. I've seen this over and over and over again. Okay, so don't think that because you're over a certain age, you're not going to go ahead and make gains. It's just not the way it is. All right, okay, let's see. I see over here how to start bodybuilding, how to encourage yourself. Well, honestly, the best advice I can give you is that if you're not happy with how you look, then use that as your motivation. Use the kind of physique that you want as your motivation for going to the gym and doing what needs to be done, and the nutrition. The same thing like what I've done. I mean, I used to be obese, and then when I decided to go ahead and change, I said to myself, well, I want to look a specific way, so to me that is way more important than any garbage food or that not training. So that always was my fuel. I didn't want to look any more the way that I did. I was obese, I was not happy with myself. Guess what? That needed to change. So I did what needed to be done in order for that to go away, okay? And in order for me to achieve the body that I wanted. So that's the best advice I can go ahead and give. It's one of those things to where you really need to see what you really want. If you really want to achieve a specific physique, then you do the sacrifices needed in order to achieve it. That's the best advice I can give you when it comes to motivation. And there are many tactics that you can go ahead and use. I mean, if you have a specific physique that you admire, maybe go ahead and put it in your fridge, or, be sure to go ahead and track your progress every week. Take some weekly pictures, take a waist measurement at least, and then take your weight, and then keep track of that stuff. Thank you, Vivian. Vivian says you and your wife are amazing. I appreciate that, Vivian. I'll talk about testosterone boosters in a minute. But anyways, for motivation, that's the biggest thing. Just, again, you can have a picture that you go ahead and post of somebody that you like in your fridge, or even in your mirror in the morning when you go ahead and visit the mirror. Or you can go ahead and track progress by taking your weight, digital pictures, or even a video, and measurements, at least your waist measurement. Typically I do waist, arms, thighs, stuff like that, but at the very minimum, at least a waist measurement, because that way you know that if the weight is staying the same but the inches on the waist are going down and the inches on the other body parts are staying the same or going up, then that means that you're gaining muscle. Okay, so to me that's super motivating. So just make it a priority to just do what needs to be done in order for you to get in shape, and know that the more that you adhere to the program, the quicker you're going to be in shape. Okay, and like Kendra says, don't trust the scale alone, because the scale will always tell you lies, which is the reason why I recommend that you also take some visual evidence. Super easy these days to go ahead and take a video, and also take some measurements. You get a tape measure and take some measurements and see what's going on. That way every week you know whether you're moving forwards, backwards, or staying the same. And then if you're staying the same or not moving forward, then you need to adjust your diet. Okay, that's what needs to be done. Let's see. Let's talk about testosterone boosters over here real quick. You can go ahead and try like the Maca, like Kendra said. There's also another great testosterone booster called Humanogrowth from Labrada Nutrition. super good. There's also another one that some of my clients are using, and the blood work shows some incredible stuff. It's called Status from Blue Star Nutraceuticals, I think it's called. But anyways, my favorite, definitely, Humana Growth is something that I've used for years from Labrada, and it's super safe, super good for you. It's really good on the adrenal glands as well, and it helps you to sleep better. And it has no side effects or anything. So, like anything, take it, see how you feel, see if the blood work shows any changes. The most important thing is how you feel. The feeling will tell you a whole bunch, okay? And of course, if you feel better and everything, your blood work should go ahead and show some improvement. Other than that, there's not a whole bunch others that are worth it, in my opinion, anyways. So that's that when it comes to the testosterone boosters. Let's also go ahead and talk about the next question over here. What's your opinion in terms of changing volume between heavier weights, lower rep phases versus lighter weights and higher rep phases? Well, here's the deal. These days I'm keeping the workout super short, between 8 to 10 sets per body part. You could go as high as 12 if you really want to, and you could get away with it because if you train like I do on my YouTube, if you go to HugoRiveraFitness, that takes you to my YouTube channel. In fact, I'll go ahead and put you here. Hold on. One sec. I'm gonna go ahead and put my link to my YouTube. If you go here, HugoRivera.tv, that'll take you to my YouTube channel, which has my training blogs. We show what I'm doing in terms of training these days, okay? And what you will see is that I do between 8 to 10 sets per body part. And the key thing is that I do it very fast. So my training routines typically take between 25 to 30 minutes, okay? I could up the volume if I really wanted to and push it up to 45 minutes, but I'm getting such good results with the 25 to 30 minutes, up to 35 sometimes I do, that I'm just keeping it there, which is a good thing because that way I completely make sure that the cortisol levels don't go up, which absolutely ensures that I'm getting the most bang for the effort, okay? So in terms of training, most of my clients train 3 days a week only, okay? So one day they'll go ahead and do like shoulders and arms, another day legs, and another day chest, back, and calves, right? But many of us train every day. I myself train 5 to 6 days a week, okay? And if I train 5 days, it's typically because I got tied up with work one day, and for whatever reason I was just way too tired to go ahead and do my session at 12 midnight or something like that, and I decided just to go ahead and take it as a rest day. But typically I like to train 6 days a week because since my workouts are so short, it doesn't matter, okay? It really doesn't matter because my cortisol levels are just not going up, all right? After the amount of time that I spend in the gym training, I keep the testosterone high, cortisol levels low. Beth, give it like 12 weeks for those supplements to work. The Maca and the Humana Growth, give it like a good 12 weeks. Kendra says, I train 7 days a week, 6 with strength training and 1 day active rest. That's totally fine, Kendra. Totally fine. The key thing is that the workout needs to be periodized and the workout needs to be short. Okay, so like I said, I posted my link over there to my YouTube videos because my YouTube videos go ahead and show how I do it from week to week. Yeah, I already assumed, Beth, that you're lifting 6 days per week, so the 12 weeks is the answer for that one. I read your mind. But anyways, when it comes to training frequency, you train what you can. Minimum of 3 days a week. If you want to do every single day, that's fine with me because the workouts are short, so it doesn't matter. The key thing is that you don't overtrain, and with periodization and keeping the workouts short, you should be able to be getting excellent results, okay? In terms of burning lower body fat, that's just a matter of dieting, following the right diet to be able to lose enough body fat to where it starts getting burned all over the place in the problem areas like the lower back and the lower belly, okay? Those are the last areas to go, especially in us males, okay? lower body fat, like the lower abs body fat and the lower back, yeah, that's some of the last body fat to go. So you just need to diet long enough, okay? And the ticket is, what I typically do is that I put people on a 40-40-20 plan, basically 40% carbs, 40% proteins, and 20% fats. That's the baseline diet. I typically take, in terms of like nutrients, like, I don't know, anywhere between 1 gram to 1.5 grams of protein per pound. Same thing for carbs. And then like 0.3 times the body weight in pounds for the fats, okay? Kendra says, Beth, since your muscles, maca may kick in within 2 weeks. It also builds muscle, but it will make your waistline what makes your waistline slim down fast. You will notice a slimmer waistline before anything else. Gives you a nice burn too. Awesome. Okay. Let's see. John says, can you do a shout out to a buddy of mine, Daryl McFadden, who had a stroke while squatting? He trains heavy, benches 405, recovering in hospital since December 31st. Oh man, big shout out to Daryl McFadden. I hope that you get better, buddy. Really do, because I know what it is to be a warrior in the gym and be down. So, I mean, thoughts and prayers with you. And I'm sure everybody else over here will be doing the same. So we hope that you recover quickly. Okay. At any rate, let me see. Kendra's asking, can you speak on alkalinity and acidity to answer the question of getting rid of lower body fat? Yeah, absolutely. Good one, Kendra. When it comes to bodybuilding, it's really important to keep the body, you know, on the alkaline side a little bit. And the key thing is, again, like I said, you know, the good macronutrient intake of carbs, proteins, and fats is going to keep your body mostly alkaline. All right. If you do a ketogenic diet and things like that over a long period of time, it's going to result in acidity, unless you're taking in enough vegetables. Okay. But at either rate, I always recommend a baseline diet of 40-40-20, and that's going to go ahead and help the cause. And by taking in the right nutrients, like I said, and then seeing what your progress looks like, if after 2 weeks you don't see too much progress, and lower the carbs a little bit, just kill like 20 grams and see what that's going to go ahead and do to you. That should typically get your fat loss going, you know. And basically what you need to do is track your progress every couple of weeks, you know, every week, every couple of weeks, you go ahead and see where you're moving. And based on that, you adjust that baseline diet, and that will actually allow you to find out exactly how many nutrients you should be taking in. Okay, that's the whole deal with the whole fat loss process. And then you just need to do the diet enough in order for you to be losing the body fat from the problem areas. And like Kendra says, vegetables contain MSM, which naturally alkalinizes the body. Exactly. Which is one good reason to include vegetables with every single meal. All right. So anyways, with that said, let me see what other questions I have here. How much work it takes to maintain muscle once it's been built? I think it could probably do a little bit less volume at times, which should help me go the distance in the long run. I've been training 15 plus years, so yeah, okay. I get a little bit sharper here and there, but not making major gains. Okay, so here's the deal. It's super easy to maintain muscle. Any kind of like decent training program is going to allow you to keep the muscle. Okay, the gaining of the new muscle is the problem, and that's why you need to periodize your workout. Okay, and going back to your original question of the volume, you know, for the higher repetition phases and the lower repetition phases, I found that you could keep the number of sets the same. So you could do like 8 to 10 sets for both phases, and it's gonna be fine, because if you're doing 12 to 20 repetitions in the higher repetition phase, and then you're doing 8 to 10 or 6 to 10, I'm sorry, repetitions in the lower, in the heavier weight, lower volume phases, then just simply by the fact that you reduce the amount of repetitions, you're doing already less volume, okay? Because volume, as you know, is repetitions times the amount of sets that you're doing. So you don't really need to go ahead and alter the number of sets too much. But if you really want to get fancy, like I've done for many years, you just go ahead and you can scale up during the higher repetition phases, and you could do like 8 sets for the body parts 1 week. You could do 10 the next week, and then on week number 3 you can really bump it up to 12. Okay, it's gonna take your body to the brink of overtraining, and then you just go ahead and cut back. You could cut back to like 8 sets, and then you do the 6 to 10 repetitions, and that causes another level of stress in your body. Okay, because by upping the number of sets, you're further increasing the volume. All right. So, and as long as you keep things within the 45 minutes, you're gonna be just fine. With the love handles, John, it's just like I was saying before, and you know, if you just jumped in and you haven't seen the rest of the Facebook Live, it's just a matter of you doing your diet long enough to where all those problem areas go away. The love handles, the lower body fat, and the lower back body fat, especially in those guys, it's gonna go last. All right. Just so you know, Daniel wants a bicep shot. There you go. Bicep shot. Anyways, next question, because I have plenty. Let's see what else I have. Hold on. Building shoulders is a priority. What else can I do to build muscle and burn body fat? Okay, well, I talked already about, like, you know, the periodization is the key here. Regardless of age, regardless of whether you're starting or not. You're welcome, Daniel. Whether you're starting or not, the periodization, you need to do it. All right? And that's going to go ahead and keep things fresh for your body to keep on changing. The next step is the diet. You just got to go ahead and do the right diet. I already said, you know, the diet, baseline diet, I put people 40% carbs, 40% protein, 20% fats. And then I start that diet, I see what kind of results I get after a couple of weeks, and then based on the results that I get, I may lower the carbs a little bit, or I may up it a little bit. So you go ahead and manipulate that so that you get your body to do what you want it to do. Okay? The key thing as you gain muscle, though, is to make sure that you're not gaining fat. All right? And the other thing that I want to mention, and this is another question, there's a question that basically asked me, if you're 12% body fat, is it true that if you try to just gain muscle at that point in time, you're going to gain mostly fat? And the answer is yes. Okay. I'll talk about that, Kendra. Kendra wants me to talk about mental stress in regards to muscle growth. I'll talk about that in a minute. Here's the deal. If you're 12% body fat for a guy, what's going to happen is then, for women it's like 14. What's going to happen then is that if you take extra calories and you go up a little bit in body fat, that's going to put you at a state to where you are going to be mainly gaining body fat because your estrogen levels are just going to skyrocket just because you have too much body fat. But if you are at a level to where you're below 14% for a lady or you're below 12% for a guy, that's the optimal environment to go ahead and gain some muscle. And typically what I've seen is that the leaner you are, the better off you are in terms of like exclusive muscle gaining, meaning just jumping on a diet that just feeds muscle growth, okay? Simply because you don't have a whole bunch of estrogen levels because you don't have enough body fat. So your body, it's almost like your body utilizes the nutrients much better, and you'll be gaining some major, muscle if you're very lean, because your muscles will go ahead and completely take that those nutrients that you're giving it. Plus your insulin sensitivity is higher too. That's another thing. If you're too fat, right, then your insulin sensitivity goes down, and then you cannot assimilate as many carbohydrates as you could if you're leaner, okay? So the leaner you get, the better off you are to set yourself up for muscle gains. If you're above 12% body fat for a guy or 14 for a lady, then my advice is to go on a fat loss diet first. And all my fat loss diets basically build muscle at the same time. All I'm saying is that it's not that you're not going to gain muscle as you're going down in body fat. It's just that you cannot go on a diet that only feeds the muscle growth, okay? You can't. Because if you're past those levels, it's just not going to work for you. So first get on a fat loss / muscle gain diet, and then when you're low enough, then increase your your calories in terms of carbs, proteins, and good fats, so that you can start putting just muscle, which is what I've basically done. I mean, I've basically have been on a carb cycling diet now for like the last year and a half, and then when I started my 5-week spring challenge for my coaching group, I decided to go ahead and join them on the challenge and go on an exclusive muscle gaining diet. And what I did is that I just put all my days as higher carbohydrate days. So basically what I'm doing a little bit of calorie cycling. So for me, I'm taking 240 grams of protein, 240 grams of carbs, and around, around 70 grams of good fats. Those are and I do 5 days like that, and then I have my 2 days, which are my leg days typically, where I do a little bit more. I do 280 of carbs, 280 of protein, and then 80 of fats. Okay, so that's how I'm playing it for me, because those are the numbers that are working for my body at this point in time. And those numbers, like I said, you will figure them out by yourself, just simply by starting with your baseline diet. And I will repeat myself, the way to set up a baseline diet is to take your body weight, okay? Try to use your approximate lean body mass, okay? If you think you're carrying like 30 pounds of body fat and you weigh like, I don't know, if you weigh 200 pounds and you think you have 30 pounds of body fat in you, then use 170 as your lean body weight, okay? And this just needs to be an approximation. It doesn't need to be an exact science. Take the 170 and multiply it, say, by 1.25, okay? That's going to give you a number. That's your proteins. The carbs is going to be the same. The fats is going to be the 170 times 0.3, okay? And that's going to go ahead and give you the fats. And that's it. That's your baseline diet. And then you go ahead and use it for a couple of weeks. And then after a couple of weeks, if you've seen that your measurements and your other body parts are going up or staying the same, and you see your waistline going down, and you see the scale either going down or staying the same, then you know that you're gaining muscle and losing body fat. Because if you're losing inches on your stomach area and the weight is staying the same, then you know that you're gaining muscle, okay? So that's just something to keep in mind. All right, so with that said, I'll go ahead and cover what Kendra says. I think the mental stress, obviously it increases cortisol levels. So you just got to make sure when you're stressed out that you try to calm yourself, try to relax, find ways of relaxation. You know, some people use yoga, some people meditate. Everybody has a different recipe for relaxation. Me, I love the beach, or I love the beach sound. So I like to go ahead and do that when I feel kind of stressed. I just go out and, you know, I just go out to my backyard. I have a nice backyard with trees and stuff like that. I just go ahead and watch the squirrels, and I just kind of like feel the breeze, and that relaxes me immediately, you know. So definitely learn how to relax, which is a skill that I think many of us have lost over the years, including me. So I'm just relearning it, and try to keep those cortisol levels low. And during high stress periods, definitely try to get as much sleep as possible, and try to have that nutrition on point, and try to use your workouts as a good way to go ahead and release stress. Because again, remember, muscle building is a hormonal event. If your cortisol levels are too high, you're not going to gain muscle the way that you should. Okay, it's just the way it is, and you're not going to lose body fat either the way that you should. So keep that all in mind. Let me see. Nutrition on a budget. A whole bunch of people actually asked me about this stuff. And nutrition on a budget, if you live in the US, I can give you some ideas. I don't know about other countries. Actually, I lived in Europe. What did I use? Stuff was expensive. that was tough. Yeah, stuff was expensive over there. But over here in the US, you can always go to like the Walmart supermarket, and then you can also go to Sam's Club, because they have some pretty good deals on organic produce and like hormone-free chicken and stuff like that. So try to go ahead and get those deals right there. You have to look at the organic sections and stuff like that, and sometimes the organic stuff is mixed in with the other stuff, so you just gotta look for the labels. But it's good to familiarize yourself with what they have, because you can definitely save tons of money. I know I do. And I get some pretty good chickens from Walmart as well. And like Kendra just mentioned, portion control will help you with food budgeting too. So that's the deal right there. So it's just important to go out there and see what kind of deals you can get for the food. And over here, like I said, if you go to Sam's Club, you can get like some big boxes of like oatmeal and big boxes of rice, and typically you can get potatoes on the cheap as well, and like frozen vegetables pretty cheaply too. So try to go to these places and see what kind of deals you can get, and see if that works for you. So that will be my best advice for that. Okay. Let me see. I got another question over here on somebody has been doing a specific workout for a while, and what else I recommend to go ahead and make sure that he keeps on gaining. And my advice to that is just basically to make sure that you're periodizing your workout. Try to change up your workout. And again, if you look at my books, the Body Sculpting Bibles, and if you also look at my YouTube videos, you will see that my workouts are always changing. Okay, and even if you do the same exercises, you can still go ahead and change the exercise order. You can change the repetitions. You have to periodize your workout. In other words, do periods of 12 to 20 repetitions, periods of like 6 to 10 repetitions, and change your volume, change your rest, and things like that. But like I said, if you go ahead and take a look at my books or my YouTube videos, you will go ahead and see how I do things. But the key thing is, don't do the same routine over and over again, because your body will get used to it, okay? Let's see. Hey, this is from one of my clients, Laurence. Hey, Laurence. I've read about the benefits of having small amounts of high-grade dark chocolate. Is this true, and how much can you get? How much can you eat? Okay. Well, you can actually try to shoot for 85% to 90% dark chocolate, because that stuff is super low in sugar, and it has actually good fats and good ingredients in it that are going to help you with your health, and they actually have been shown to help you with the recovery from your workout. So you could do a serving of like, you have to look at the specific piece of dark chocolate that you're getting and try to get like a serving that gives you around 10 grams of fat. So that will be kind of like the serving for that specific meal. But yeah, I don't have a problem with one of your meals having fats from the dark chocolate. That's totally cool. In fact, I have some over here myself. So yeah, great stuff. And in fact, if you're doing like a protein pudding, you can actually go ahead and cut the dark chocolate and throw it in. So that way you have your protein pudding with some like dark chocolate pieces on it. So I have over here a question from Henry. Can your body get used to a certain type of brand of protein powder that starts reducing effectiveness if you used it? Let me see. I don't see the whole comment here, so let me go to my computer. If you used it for too long. Henry, that's a great question. In my personal experience, I've never had that problem, and I never had that problem with any of my clients. But I can tell you that some people do actually develop food allergies if they go ahead and consume something too often. That has never been my personal experience, to be honest with you. And I do have a client that has food allergies. I do have one, so I take that back. I do have one. But the majority of people, it seems like you can continuously eat the same thing and it doesn't give you any problems. It just depends on your body's physiology. Some people actually need to rotate foods and protein powders to prevent the body from growing allergic to it, which is kind of interesting. But again, everybody's a different universe, so it's not surprising. But it's certainly not the majority of the cases, okay? Like I said, the majority of my clients, they eat the same stuff day in and day out. None of us have any issues. I'm certainly the king of eating the same stuff day in and day out, just because it's simple. I don't want to be thinking about what to eat today or whatever. And I know already the measurements for specific meals and specific plates, so I just want to keep things as simple as humanly possible. So as a result, I just go ahead and eat the same thing all the time. But if you see that you're making allergies to the food that you're consuming, like for example, after you eat it, you feel lethargic, or some people actually sneeze, or you feel itchy, then you're making an allergic reaction to what you're eating. And in such case, you just go ahead and you rotate your foods. You stop, like in the case of a protein powder, you go ahead and change the brand and you try it out for a while. Preferably, you also change the protein type. So if you're using whey protein, maybe use some casein, milk-based protein, and try it out for a while and see how you feel. If the symptoms go away, for sure you know that you had a food allergy right there. So it's kind of interesting how that works. The body is just fascinating. Let me see some other questions that I have here. Let's see. When to increase the weight? Well, it depends on the workouts that you're doing. Like if I go ahead and tell you to do like 13 to 15 repetitions for a specific week, if you see that you can do easily over 15 repetitions with a specific exercise, okay, and a specific weight, then make sure that you increase the weight. Okay, you have two choices. You can either increase the weight or you can reduce the repetition speed, because by reducing the repetition speed, for example, taking 3 to 4 seconds to lower the weight, 2 seconds to lift it, and maybe like a 1 second contraction, then you're also creating a situation of more time under tension. So you're still stimulating the muscle hard with that same weight without having to increase it. But let's just say that you can do more than 15 repetitions, you've done the technique that I told you, and now you got strong enough to do again over 15 repetitions, then that's time to increase the weight for sure. Don't be shy. Definitely increase the weight. The key thing is I don't want anybody increasing weight at the expense of form, because that's not good, okay? The form is the key. If you're not doing the proper form, you're just not putting the stimulus in the muscle. Instead, what you're doing is that you're putting the stress on the joints and the connective tissue, and you're going to pay for it. You're going to get injured, and then you're going to be out of commission for a while, and that's going to go ahead and kill your gains. So what's the point, right? I mean, listen, we've all been there. We've all lifted too heavy at one point or the other. I've certainly done it. I mean, now that I'm like 43, I actually feel better than I did when I was 14, because at 14 I was lifting too heavy with horrible form, and I was hurting everywhere. Everywhere I was hurting, okay? And of course I have way bigger muscles now than I did back then. So, you know, the key thing is proper lifting form. Definitely use time under tension techniques, especially for those of us that can really put some weight on, because the time under tension is going to allow you to train with less heavy weights, which in turn preserves your joints, because your joints will never ever be able to match the strength that your muscles can generate, because your muscles get stronger than your joints at all times. So something that may be light for your muscles is not necessarily light for your connective tissue. So keep that in mind. That's why I love the time under tension. And like Kendra says, yeah, that time under tension stuff is no joke. Yeah, it isn't. It hurts. It hurts, but it gives the results, and that's what we're here for. We're definitely here for the results. So let's see what else we have. Can I work out twice in one day if it is a different time and different body parts? Yeah, you could. I mean, if you wanted to. I've done that. Between the ages of 14 to 18, I would train 3 times a day, believe it or not, because I was obsessive compulsive. So I would go to the gym before going to school. I would go to the gym at school, because I had weight training, of course, and then I would go to the gym again after school. I spent my whole damn day at the gym. It was all 40-minute sessions, so my body could actually recover. But that's how I trained back then. And you know what? Looking at my results back then and looking at my results today, I would say I can still get the same kind of results from just one precise, well-done training session a day. So even though it can be done, I wouldn't do it. Just because, you know, I have other things to do, to be quite honest with you, and I don't think it's necessary unless you're like competing or something like that and you have a different goal, right? But for us who just want to look good, I don't think it's necessary to train more than once a day, okay? Let me see, what else? How do I get a six-pack? Well, you just have to go ahead and diet long enough to where you burn off the body fat. Make no mistake, there's no machine There's no exercise that is going to like magically make the body fat melt in your stomach, okay? You have to follow the proper diet, and by following the diet enough, you will burn the body fat in your midsection, and guess what? Then you're gonna start to see your abs once your body fat is low enough, okay? So that's the whole ticket to that. Should I do cardiovascular exercise before or after my workout? Well, if you're gonna do it, if you're gonna do cardio, then make sure that your workout lasts like 30 minutes and that is fast paced anyways, and then make sure that your cardio lasts like no more than 15 minutes. That's how I would do the cardio if you're doing everything on the same session, because that way the whole session only lasts 45 minutes. If you're bent on still doing cardio, I would then just, if you want to do a longer cardio, let's say you want to do 30 minutes of cardio and 30 minutes of weights, I would split my sessions. I would do like cardio at a different time than the gym. But like I've been saying, I feel that if you go ahead and do your weight training sessions correctly, the need for traditional cardio disappears. Because if you're training super quick, like I've been showing lately, like it's shown like in my books, in the Body Sculpting Bibles, I show that, and I also show that in my YouTube videos. If you train super hard, super quick, your cardiovascular efficiency is going to improve, and you're gonna get the heart rate up at all times. So, I mean, today, for example, I did a non-stop giant set. It only lasted, it kept me going for like 25 minutes. It was non-stop. Pa, 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 pa. I did a quad exercise, a hamstring exercise, and a abs exercise, and I just kept on rotating them like that. That was a killer weight training and cardio workout, let me tell you. So yeah, I don't do traditional cardio anymore these days, and most of my clients don't do it either. The only people that do it from my client group is the people that just really want to do it. I'm not one to go ahead and stop somebody from doing cardio if you really want to do it. I'm just saying that it's not necessary to do it, that's all. Best supplements to take daily. I've talked about this before and I'll talk about it again. You know, basic supplements, multiple vitamin and mineral formula, especially take some extra calcium, magnesium, and potassium to avoid cramping, because the muscles use these minerals very often as you're training. So the more muscle mass you have, the more you burn through these. So it's important that you have them, otherwise you're going to cramp. Be sure to go ahead and take, you know, if you cannot eat all real meals in a day, make sure you have a good protein powder. Definitely make sure that you have some fish oils. They're great essential fats, totally essential. Those are your 3 main supplements. If you can afford a few more supplements, I would just take a pre-workout. Me personally, I use the Supercharge from Labrada Nutrition. I use the stimulant-free one though, because I don't like the one that has stimulants. It's just too much for me. So I just have the stimulant-free formula, and this supplement has a lot of stuff. It has the creatine, it has the glutamine, it has the branched-chain aminos, it has like the nitric oxide boosters, it has like beta-alanine, it has L-tyrosine. So all those performance-enhancing supplements are all there, and I'll go ahead and put the link over here. You can go ahead and look it up. Here's the link to the Labrada Nutrition site. There we go. Just look for the stimulant-free Supercharge. That's what I use. Christian is asking if I'm getting back to competing in the future. No. No, because there's a good reason for that, Christian. The reason for that is because when I compete, I turn into a complete Terminator, and that becomes the only goal in life, okay? And in my opinion, that's the only way to compete anyways. I mean, if you're not doing your best, then why try something if you're not putting your best foot forward? So I become pretty focused. And my last competition was awesome. I did the MPC USAs, the Mr. USA, and I placed a solid 4th. And I had like 4 first place votes, if memory serves me well. But then there was also a section of the panel of judges. They felt that I needed to have bigger legs and stuff. So at the end, it doesn't matter. It's all, you know, bodybuilding is very subjective. You know, what's perfect for one person is not perfect for the other. And I'm totally happy with my placing. Honestly, I would have never dreamed that I would have done so well at a pro qualifying event. Never. When I was overweight and obese, I would have never imagined. And I was able to do that. And honestly, it was such a good experience that I said, you know what, I'll make this my last competition. I'll just go ahead and focus on looking good, and just I continue to compete against myself. Thank you, Christian. You say Christian says your physique still looks awesome. Thank you. The reason for that is because I continue to compete against myself. So I continue to train and diet as if I would be competing. That's the ticket. So I keep myself motivated. Motivation for me is not a problem. It's like I wake up and it's kind of like the sun. The sun never stops to shine. Well, that's kind of like me when it comes to motivation. It's like when it comes to this stuff, I just love to compete against myself, and I love to still kind of like look at my physique and be like, okay, maybe I can add a little bit more here and then subtract a little bit there, and it's going to look like this, it's going to look like that. So I'm constantly working on it. And, if I wanted to compete, it will probably take me 6 weeks to get ready, to be honest. It's just that I just don't want to go ahead and put myself through it, because I know how I get. I just turn into a complete machine, and it's not something that I want to do. I much rather just go ahead and focus on continuing to do what I do, which is, I just have fun, and I just make it kind of like my little pet project to look a specific way. And most importantly, my goal is to help other people and help them to achieve their shape, but whether it be via my books. Let me go ahead and plug my books. Shameless plug over here. Body Sculpting Bible for women, for the ladies. The Body Sculpting Bible for men. There you go. They cover everything. Mindset, training, nutrition, supplementation, exercises, you name it. If it's fitness related, it's there. Trust me. And it has that book has like over 60 years of combined experience, because it's me and James who put the books together. So that covers everything and anything over there. So let me see here. Brendan says, have you ever thought of doing a part 2 body reengineering program with all updated advice on training programs, diet plans, and supplements? That's interesting, Brandon, because I have thought about it. I've thought about it. Basically, for those of you that don't know, Body Reengineering actually is an ebook that I created before the Body Sculpting Bibles came out, okay? And it's some pretty hardcore training over there. And it makes for a great companion to the Bibles, because once you go through all the programs in the Bibles, then you can go ahead and take it to the next level with Body Reengineering. And I think it will be a cool project to go ahead and go back to that book. The thing is that I've been so busy just kind of like coaching people one-on-one and through my coaching group and stuff like that, that I haven't had the chance to sit down and do a proper job with that. Plus, I also spent a great deal of time putting these new books together. If you look at the books, it's like, what? It's over 500 pages. It's 538 pages right there. The women's is similar. So that's what's happening right there. Christian says, going to order it after the show. That's nice, Christian. I appreciate that. For people that have asked me, this was another question too. I always get this. People ask me, how can I learn more about your techniques, and how can I work with you and things like that. There's many ways. You have my website, you have my books, you have my YouTube channel. If you want to work with me personally, the best way to do that is here. You go here, you go to HugoRivera.net/go/apply. And basically what you do then is that you go ahead and apply for a time to go ahead and talk over the phone, and we discuss what your goals are and everything, and then based on what you need, I can go ahead and design a coaching plan for you. Of course, I also take into consideration your budget, and we go from there. I also have a coaching group that I'm running as we speak via Facebook, and we have a great group of people over there as well. And that group, because it's group coaching, I can afford to do it much cheaper than I do my one-on-one programs. My one-on-one programs, I typically sit down, I listen to you, I see what your problems are, and I'll literally write down from scratch a training and a nutrition plan, and then I'll, based on what your needs are, we can go ahead and have bi-weekly phone calls, or maybe we don't have the phone calls, maybe we just go ahead and do email support. Okay, so that's pretty much how I run that. In terms of the books, they can be found here. Let me go ahead and find the link for you. One sec. Love it when my computer acts up. I'll be finding the link over here in a few secs. Bear with me. Here we go. Okay. Link for the books is... Where are they? Here we go. I'll post it. Let's see. There. Thank you, Beth. Beth saying fantastic coaching and support. Kendra says love the group. Brandon says thank you for the answer. Beth is one of my one-on-one coaching clients. So is Kendra, actually. Both are doing phenomenal. These ladies are beasts in the gym. Okay, that I guarantee you. Both of them squat over 200 pounds. That's all I'm saying. So, so yeah, super proud of them. Roman, salut, Roman. Ça va bien? Roman is a friend of mine from France. So, great stuff, yeah. So, there we go. I went ahead and I posted the links for the group, for the books. And like I said, I posted also a link for people that are interested in coaching with me. They can go ahead and contact me and we can go ahead and talk about it and see what your needs are. And then we can go from there. But yeah, that's the reason I don't compete anymore, because I'd much rather go ahead and help other people. I think at this point in time, it will be a waste of my time to go ahead and try to compete when I've done that already successfully. And, and I don't have any aspirations of being like a pro bodybuilder or competing at the Olympia or anything like that. I think there are people that do that way better than I do, than I could do it. Okay, so I leave it to the pros to go ahead and do that. I'd much rather just go ahead and teach and just take care of myself. When it comes to training and bodybuilding. All right. So, anyways, with that said. Wow, that's been already an hour. That blows my head how quickly the time passes. Let me go ahead and talk to my friend Roman over here real quick. He's asking when I go back to France. Roman, ouais, je ne sais pas quand je serai là, mais tu sais, je te dirai quand j'ai comment est-ce qu'on dit, je te dirai quand on reviendra. Ouais, voilà. Désolé pour mon français. J'espère que tout va bien, ok? J'espère que tout va bien. Kendra says you're an awesome coach. Thank you for your help. My pleasure, Kendra. Thank you so much. I want to thank everybody here for coming to the Facebook Live today. It's really been an honor and a pleasure to be here. And again, just go by my website if you have any kind of questions. HugoRivera.net is the site. And anyways, until next time, make sure that you take care and train hard. Bye, Vivian.